called the Knicks and asked for an offer for Giannis. Okay.
And
Because Giannis said, I want to be a Knick. So people are like, oh my God, he deleted a photo from May where he had a Bucks logo.
Yeah.
Guys, he asked to be traded already.
Yeah. So when's it going to happen?
Well, that's the thing. So what appears is that Giannis committed himself for the season to the Bucks. That's what appeared happened. Everything he said in his mood. But the Bucks are not good. This year, when he hasn't played, they're 1-5. And when he has played, they're 9-8. So they've been 500 when he's played, and when he hasn't played, they've been getting raced. What you're asking me is his viewpoint? Would his viewpoint change? I don't know. Like I know that he asked for a trade, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to be a Buck this year." I know that a lot of people in the league don't think he'll be a Buck next year.
So the good word is that Giannis, according to Brian Windhorst, has already, requested a trade. I'll speak on CP3, John Morant, Trae Young, and what's one more? John Morant, Trae Young, and Chris Paul. Yeah, Chris Paul. So, you see in the clip, he said he already requested to be traded, trying to get to the Knicks. I mean, that's cool. Like, I ain't really tripping on it. Milwaukee is one of those cities where, you win some, you leave. Historically in football, it's like, a lot of guys end up, they get free agents, Julius Peppers, Reggie White, and they come there and they win. So it's really, Milwaukee is not like a place that you want to be, a destination spot. And, the majority of guys, destination spots to them is Cali, New York, South Beach. I feel like there's some great destination spots when you start talking about, places in Carolina like Charlotte, or I think Raleigh there's no sports team there, but Raleigh is a rising thing. I think, Houston, Dallas, is lit. I think places like that is lit. You know what I'm saying? Other than thing, but I'm from Detroit, so it's a bad rap. But when you get there, you're not far from New York. You used to be able to go back and forth from the border in Canada. Not far from Atlanta. It's a good place. Nightlife, I don't indulge in that no more, but nightlife, casinos, it's a bunch of black businesses, black people, great eating. So, you get Four Seasons for people who want to just, who like the Four Seasons and stuff. So, Milwaukee a little bit more colder, but still, I'm not sure they got the nightlife and shit like that, but wherever you is what you make it, but for the most part, for the Giannis brand, it might make more sense for him to be in New York. Other than that, where do you kind of see him? Houston got a bunch of, not Houston, but they do, but I don't think they would get him because they got KD. But, Phoenix got a bunch of pieces, that, maybe can get it done. The Clippers, they got a bunch of pieces nobody really want. Going down to Miami, obviously they'd be willing to give up Tyler Hero. But I think I would want Bam too and a bunch of picks. You feel what I'm saying? So, but so be it, man. If he won out, he won out. Feel bad for Milwaukee, man. But he brought a championship similar to Lou Alcindor. They didn't get one with Ray Allen and Sam I M and Glenn Big Dog Robinson. I don't think they didn't get one because the league had a conspiracy against, or conspired, in my opinion, against Glenn Big Dog Robinson. If you know it, I want $100 million. I'm worth it. If you know this, the story. It hampered his career. He was a really good ball player too. You know what I'm saying? Before, he would be the prototypical 4 today. It's really an extension of the 3. But yeah, shit, if the Knicks is where they trying to send him at, they got the pieces. Can you keep Bronson and Cat and Giannis? It'll work now with Thibodeau gone because they seem like they got a good rotation and they getting the most out of their rotation. So you got Bridges, you got OG, I'm pretty sure they want the big fella in the middle, Mitchell Robinson. Start off with those 3, maybe kick Miles Turner somewhere else, or they just figure it out down the line. So yeah, I think that'll make a lot of sense. If I'm the Knicks, I do it. If I can keep Bronson and Cat, the reason that works, in my opinion, just off the base of my mind, the reason I feel like that works is because his ability to shoot Cat ability to shoot. Jalen Brunson ability to shoot. Will there be some issues as far as ball handling? Yeah, I feel like, the difference between and I know people are going to get mad, a Brunson and a Cade. Cade is LeBron. He's made in the mold of LeBron, Isaiah, Magic, you know what I'm saying, Stockton, and I think that's like, I don't say this, Anthony Edwards doing it a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like he makes his teammates better in an intangible way. And I think tangibly, but in more intangible. Like he put batteries in their back and he's unselfish. I think LaMelo Ball can be in that category. That's what I want to speak on too. He could be in that category. Chris Paul's in that category in his prime. So I think Brunson is just so much of a scorer that it's going to be a class. So if you put Giannis with Cade, I think there'd be a little bit bumps and bruises there with that, but it really wouldn't be because Cade is just an all-around baller. I mean, his whole thing is he'd rather not score 20, 30, 40 points. He'd rather have, 16, 18 important points and 10 assists, but he'd rather just be a floor general, rebound, defend. Brunson is a killer. He's a two guard playing the one. Similar to Russell. I don't care shit about assists. They're two guards playing the one. They're aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be the issue with Brunson and Giannis is, Mike, what's my man's name? The brother. I like Mike Brown is just not an offensive wizard. So I think the issue with them it'll be, making it work. And Brunson playing off Giannis. I think Giannis will run and he get 12, 15 points just running the floor. But Brunson has to become a full-fledged point guard. And he's just a guy that's a heavy shot taker. He's just a killer. He's like baby Kobe, like to me. Like he's a scoring machine. Cade is an all-around basketball player. And that's the difference between the two. Cade make people better. Brunson is just a killer. And I think that's a clash. What's going to happen? It's going to take time. And then how do Cat fit into that? I think Cat is going to get it how he get. Cat, if he rebound to get his 20 and 30, Cat going to do it if he stretch it out. I'm not really worried about the dynamic of Cat and Giannis. It's more about the dynamic of Brunson and Giannis. But also to hear them talking about, John Morant, LaMelo Ball, and Trae Young really not having much value, that they broken up and they just seem to have no value right now. And I say this about LaMelo Ball. Immaturity. He's immature. The oldest brother is so mature. Lonzo is so mature. And I don't know he's just seemed to be more even keeled, and LaMelo's the wild child. That's the problem. He has no discipline. He's not mature enough to be the leader of a basketball team. The durability ain't there. You can tell by the tattoos, and he got to shoot it. He's not mature enough. If he's more disciplined and he takes accountability and he defends and he plays a disciplined player in the basketball, not all that flashy stuff, and just straight hoop and just play his game, probably be the best player in the league if he's disciplined, But he ain't disciplined. And then with Trae Young, unfortunately with him, it's like, it just seemed like the Hawks are better without him. Similar once again, people talking about how Cade went to one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team in the league, it was. And my Pistons, and they talking about how he handled it. He didn't bitch and complain and cry, and he fought through it, and it worked. Trae Young bitched, complained, and cried, and teammates complained about him ball hogging and all that. And that's why I say, just because you get assists doesn't make you a pure point guard. Some dudes go out there stat hunting. So Trae Young just got to figure out, hey, I got to defend. Fuck what Luka doing. I got to defend. I got to just, find ways to make my teammates better. And once he figure out, his effort defensively, it'll come. But once he figure out when to kill and when to run the offense, it'll be a wrap. I believe in Trae Young still. I'm a huge Trae Young fan. And then John Morant, immaturity. You see the daddy dancing in the crowd. Bunch of immaturity, bro. He's very immature. Come from an immature family. The rumor was his mama called him up to Foot Locker. One of the employees, they ran him in the back room or whatever. And I'm like, why would you put your multi-million-dollar son in that position? And immaturity. And then it's also questions about all three durability. Then it's also questions about, have we seen the best of Ja? See, the other two motherfuckers can shoot. Ja can't shoot. He ain't got no better. So the 30 for 30 with Ja and Zion is going to be lit. And then you rotate it down and you start talking about CP3 and how he was trying to win. And I'll say this, man, and he's a feisty guy. People don't like him. He two-faced it, and he ain't going to bite his tongue. But I'm going to say this, man, you can't want more for somebody else than you want for yourself. I mean, you can't want more for somebody else than they want for themselves. And I'll tell you that right now. You can be the best employee, the best teammate, but if you're surrounded around a bunch of trash, you just wasting your time. people who trash and people who don't want to win are happy just getting their money, happy doing a half-ass job and all that, you know. All they gonna do is be jealous. They gonna take everything you said the wrong way. They said Ty Brian Lue didn't speak to him for weeks because he like, man, we need to pick it up, man. We need to be better. We need to be better. And when you know, he feisty and he probably don't bite his tongue. And when you come at it the wrong way and people just feel offended and feel like they being attacked, because a lot of people that feel like they being attacked, most of the time, you know, they guilty of what they being attacked of. That's why they defensive and they, but the thing about it is you can't want more for a team, a job, the employees there, your teammate. You can't want more than they want for themselves. And at the end of the day, you just either got to fade into the black, separate yourself from it, or you just play the role until it blow over until you find something else. That's just simple as that. Play the role. I'm a half step. I'm a Big Daddy Kane. These niggas just like they doing me. And for Chris Paul, he wanted something more. He got a bad reputation already, but I get him. I feel him. You know, when you sign up to do a job, you sign up to be a collective like that. I want to win. I ain't come here to bullshit. I ain't come here to fuck these groupie hoes and he in year 55 too. He trying to win, but here's what it is. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9. Peace.